Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to GameStar
Choose
TV
your champion.
and the HEYPAL Paladin Summer 17, week number 3, brought to you by GameStar, sponsored by Hi-Res Studios themselves. They've given us all of the crystals for the prizes tonight and every week, and for the finals ODC, and of course Plantronics Gaming, who have sponsored the MVP program. So one of the MVPs that we nominate will be walking away with a high-end headset. We're not exactly sure exactly which headset it's going to be just yet, but they're going to let us know, and we're telling them it's got to be one. We're hoping it's going to be a Rig 800, because those are the new wireless Plantronics headsets. So, you know, that'd be really cool to be able to give away. You know, brand new technology, super cool. Super cool. And then you could come to your next LAN and you'd be wearing just the most amazing things. All right, so we're into the Champion Select. Of course, the match that we're bringing you is, let me just get it up on screen for you. It is Surge ESC versus Corvidae. So, of course, we have featured Corvidae once before in an earlier round. I think it was round 2 against Avant-Garde. We're giving them a bit more love. Once you get to round 4 and 5 of Swiss format, it becomes very difficult to have 2 teams on screen that haven't been on screen already once before. So Surge, this is the first time. They are a new team that entered the tournament last week and did okay. What was their... well, we'll have a look at their scores at another time. Because Champ Select is almost finished. Surge versus Corvidae. Corvidae at the moment seeded number 8. Surge seeded 6. And in fact, if Surge was seeded 6, that means they're around about 6 on the leaderboard. And that means they actually did quite well last week. And they got 2 wins last week and managed to pick up 3 bonus points from their losses. So not a bad team at all as we head into... I'll find out the map for you in a moment. AgroTank will probably tell me. And yeah, he could probably tell me. But so we'll see. Serpent Beach, there you go. It's definitely not Frog Isle, because we've had issues with Frog Isle in the past, and we're a little bit gun shy. So representing on the left-hand side, the boys from Surge ESC is Calder NZ, Brutex, Eagle, OG, Archimedes, and Xylos. And if we look at their team comp, I'm going to go with 1 tank, because Bomb King isn't a tank, right? He's DPS. Yeah. Yeah. So 1 tank, 2 DPS, a flanker, and a support for the boys on Surge ESC. And for Corvidae, they are once again going to be going with the double tank. So Torvald and Fernando on the front line as the tanks. They've got a single flanker and just the 1 DPS and 1 support. So long range DPS, of course. Let's get the loadouts up so that you can see exactly who it is. Now, we gave the MVP to Joels in the previous round from Abyss Esports, playing Shaolin, and he got himself 120,000 worth of damage through the 7 rounds that we played. So the 7 points that we played. Yeah, so we'll see how, who is it exactly, how Nancy does on Shaolin this time round. Now, the only thing that I suppose it's not the worst thing. They might be a little bit low on damage, but I think people fancy Torvald's damage as quite up there. Now, I don't know what his stats exactly are, but I know that once he sticks onto you, it's very difficult to get away in that close range situation. So they're going to be depending on that front line beefy damage coming through to win them the point. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck. All right, no silly flanking shenanigans fighting around the side. It's straight onto the point. The first blood goes to Corvidae, and they'll be pleased with that. as they get themselves onto the capture point and have it ramp up really, really quickly. For a good 10 seconds or 5 seconds, they had 3 players on that capture point, and it's virtually uncontested at this stage from Surge. Esports Club, Makha arrives finally, and now they're coming through. Bomb King throws through his stun. Doesn't really get much for it. That said, they might get some position here. They might be able to drive the boys of Corvidae off of the point, and they have succeeded. But oh, they were both off of the point. Nobody forcing it overtime, and just a tippy toe back onto it by Corvidae gets in the payload and set the first point of the game.
Enemy killing spree.
Holo's trying to stop though as they fight over in the flanking area, which is often where the main battle goes for. So a lot of teams have both of their teams go for the flanking position. But in the meantime, Corvidae at the 2-minute mark have managed to get themselves out from under the first archway, which is often a choke point that causes teams to stumble. And well, really, but for a couple of pauses, they are managing to keep themselves rolling on. Let's have a look at how their Androxus is doing. As he gets himself into the back line, 1-3-1, gets himself a killing spree off of Eagle Og. And that is, well, he's doing his job, I guess. He's in the back line right now, looking for the Eevee to come through in the rest. Doing a good rear guard action there. Grabbing her as she comes through. Spears out though. There's an ultimate pops. This is serious business from Corvidae. They do not want to make this a long match. They want to get the cap off of this. But Maldumba's ulti gets the fear going, pushes everybody away from the payload, halts it momentarily, and that is a successful ulti.
Not yet.
Why Akarim pops his ulti just then? Well, that's why he's managed to buy enough time for Matsi on DPS to get the kills through, and that is 2 points in favor of Corvidae against Surge ESC. Well, 2-0 right now in favor of Corvidae. They'll be very pleased with that. We've not seen very many 2-0s tonight. In fact, every single stream has been a kind of a ding-dong affair between the two teams, with one team eventually getting ascendancy. So let's see whether Surge ESC are able to halt the momentum of the Corvidae and get themselves a point themselves, or get themselves into a very, very tricky situation with a 3-0 that they'll be facing. So the first round of game, straight away, brute force wins the day. Nobody trying very hard to get too much takedown going on, and it has worked very, very well for Surge ESC. They've driven. No, don't leave the point. Oh, see, they're trying to get. They're going to try and force a trickle through. But there's only one player on the point right now. They could have kept it by now, I think, if they had just stayed on the point. 3 people on the point, gets the speed going as fast as possible. Akarim is there now, puts a hold to it at 93%. And so the boys from Corvidae, from Surge are going to have to work very, very hard to maintain their lead. Thank you, friend. In fact, unfortunately, it's not going very well because, yeah, there you go. They've been driven off. It's 50% now in favor of Corvidae, and it is up to the boys from Surge ESC to regroup and get themselves back onto this point. 87-90. Time is ticking. They're going to have to force the overtime. The King doesn't have his ulti just yet, so he's not going to be able to pull it. Oh, he gets his stun through. It's 99-97. The overtime is ticking. He's got to hold on. He's got to stay there. Oh, it's overtime still ticking in favor of Corvidae, and they're going to be able to hold on to it, get the objective captured, and it is 3-0 right now in favor of Corvidae Surge.ESC have their backs to the wall and have to figure out what to do to stop this push from getting through. Follow a bit of EV action because that's not confusing at all. She tries to get her flanking positions in place. Does very well. Dashes away when she draws the attention of the enemy. Who do we need to look at? I think we need to switch over to Roxas because I think you just got another ramp.
I feel stronger.
This payload rolling forward right now, virtually unstoppable as Corvidae, well, they stumbled a little bit before they actually captured it. But once they capped it, man, have they been unstoppable. 1 versus 1, support versus Androxus. Now Dumba trying to get his stuns on. Gets down onto the payload, helps it hold. Dies. No, he doesn't die from his trouble. He's managed to get away. As the Rampage comes up for the Androxus. He gets pulled down though, uses his immunity to get himself out of jail free just that time and look for another flank before, well, yes, he dies. So they managed to put a stop here, have Surge ESC on this rolling payload. Momentarily, it's pretty much what happened in the first round there. So the question is going to be whether they can change things up a little bit and manage to hold on for longer than they did before. Rover pops his ulti, gets the heals going. How do I go down? Down. As we zoom on in there.
30 seconds remaining.
The payload has been cleared, it's rolling forward. Bomb King gets there just in time, he's only just in range, gets the stun on, gets a kill off the stun. That's what you need to do, stick to the payload and make sure that it doesn't stop. And in fact it doesn't, so he'll be happy. Now Bomb King, you should be loading up this wall over there. They just rush around the corner. And desperation crash. Oh, in comes Akarim. He's going to force the overtime as the time ticks away. He's gotten onto the point there. In comes the rest of his team. In comes the Bomb King. Gets his ulti down. Doesn't manage to kill anybody though, so lots of noise. Fernando's dropped though, so it was good enough to get the damage down onto Fernando. The fear comes through, but Evie pops her ice crystal, delays things for just a moment, and just like that, Corvidae pick themselves up a 4-0 victory. Gosh, but it was close, that second point. Let's check out the scores there. A very, very quick game. So not incredibly high stats. Nevertheless, still 61,000 damage done by Estes on his way to picking up 28 eliminations. Any solo kills? Yep. 3 solo kills. Did a great job as the flanker Androxus. Now, we need to pick an MVP. So we'll bring Aggro Tank in again. And Aggro, what do you think of that match? Who would you pick for an MVP?
It was a really good game. Definitely some good control by Corvidae there. So I'm going to have to go an MVP from their team. Just the boys had the control on the map there. It is a toss-up where Matt's really good with the Charlene, just keeping that damage out. But you're going to have to go with Androxus. Estes there, just the great flank, the great kills, and just great control there. So definitely going Estes for the MVP.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. He was doing work. So happy for it to go his way. Well, that was a very, very quick match. And in fact, it's not our first result. So Avant dominated Redux and let's get that bracket up. And they pick up a 4-0 win as well. So we'll wait for Abyss versus Kings and Team Reticent versus Forefront to finish up, ladies and gentlemen. And then we will be back with round number 5, the final round of tonight's HEYPAL. Make sure you've entered the raffle, ! HEYPAL, and that'll enter you into the raffle. In order to win, you must be following GameStar TV 1. So hit that follow button. And turn notifications on as well for when we go live, because we do lots and lots of esports. We are running competitions, 2 competitions per week, basically, on average. And we have a great time here. Giveaways every night, so it's worth your while joining us. getting notified of those of when we go live. All right, well, we'll be back in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick announcement. We've had to forfeit 104 Front Paladins' matches. Unfortunately, they had a problem with a player unable to connect. Apparently, he kept on getting kicked out of the game. Now, yeah, it's kind of out of our hands in that sort of situation. Unfortunately, we can't delay everybody, and so we've had to award a forfeit through to Team Reticent. A quick note to all of the players. If this happens, if this does happen to your team, you need to notify the admins as soon as you start experiencing problems. Don't wait until the time of the match is basically passed before you say, look, we actually can't connect. So there's not a huge amount that we can do. So yeah, just make sure that you notify the admins in our Discord if you have those sorts of issues. So we're just waiting for Abyss Paladins to finish their match against Kings. Looks like it was another close one. And then we'll be back with round number 5.